Hi my friends, a very good morning and welcome to one more landscape photography adventures here on my channel. I'm close to a road, so sorry for the road noises. And yeah, I'm here at this nice little woodland and yeah, I'm going for building up some compositions, working on some compositions, doing a little bit of woodland photography. And to be honest, I waited already the whole week for getting some rain here. And every day, each single day when I had a look in the weather maps, it always said rain in the next 2 days. So yeah, guess what? Also today it says rain in the next 2 days. We don't have rain today, but it rained at least over the night, so that's not the worst thing. I'm not sure, I thought I would go anywhere out and just work on some compositions. The conditions are not the worst. There could be anything possible, but yeah, we will see. I will have a look and I'll be happy if you could come with me, so let's try for it. For the case that you watch my videos on a regular basis, you know that I had a knee injury, what is still not 100% healed, but it got already much better. But the thing is, when you have a look around, everything is steep here. So it's not always steep, but when you had a knee injury, it's not really possible to climb up there. And yeah, what I usually do is when I go out for woodland photography, I leave the trails. And so when you have a look there, the trail goes straight there and left it goes down, right it goes up. It makes it a little bit difficult, so I will stick to the trail. What will make it a little bit more difficult to photograph, but in the other hand, yeah, I think it's a challenge. It's really fantastic. I'm really happy that I'm able to go up here. It's my local woodland, but yeah, I never went up here for months now because of my knee injury. Yeah, there is a steeper part at the beginning. You saw already a B-roll, and I was never able to hike up there, to walk up there. So, and over the last days, my knee injury got really amazingly better, and I was out already for walking, just for a little walk for 20 minutes or so, just on the flat area every day nearly. Yeah, that's amazing, and this wasn't possible over the last months now. So I'm really grateful to be out here in nature also when we have these annoying road noises down there. Sorry therefore, but yeah, it is because it rained, so we heat up quite loud. However, it looks really fantastic when I have a look here. The rain brings out all the contrast here on the trees and also from the leaves, from the ground and so on. That's really amazing. And another thing, by the way, is this trail is just, I think, maybe 1.5 kilometers, something like this. So it's really a very little forest. And yeah, and when you are limited like that, you have to get really creative to get out some photographs, or at least one photograph, whatever you want to go for. So I would say I will follow the trail now and let's see what's possible. So I found already a composition, and yeah, I did something what I usually totally try to avoid. You know, I mentioned already the thing with the trail. I try to stick with the trail, but what I didn't expect is I stick that much to the trail that I will include it into my frame. So we have this nice little S-curve here, and I was attracted by this contrast of these big trees here at the right. I mean, they're not the biggest trees in the world, but they're much bigger than the trees back there. And so this gives a really nice contrast. And I also use this to balance the scene a little bit. And what I also really like here are these green leaves here, this green foliage up there on the trees. Yeah, it's spring and we have these green leaves everywhere coming out. Although we have also these red patches here on the ground. So I'm really happy with the reds down here and also more back there. What's also really, yeah, it tells a story of this trail going through this spring woodland. Spring is always late here in the mountains, so that's the reason why it looks a little bit more after winter here in the moment. What I did is I use a circular polarizer on because, yeah, as already mentioned, everything is wet, it rained overnight, and this really, it adds contrast and a little bit of saturation here to this scene, what looks really pretty good. And what I tried to do is I tried to arrange everything and I get a nice isolation as much as possible in the woodland. But a very important key element here are these green leaves up there, this green foliage, and I tried to separate it nicely left beside the tree, what looks really fantastic. And I also will include a little bit more foliage at the right hand side, what's a little bit more in the distance, and I think this one here at the left hand side will glow a little bit more through the sunlight, what comes from backwards. What's a little bit a problem here, honestly, because the sun goes up in that direction, and look what's there. Yeah, we have a hill there and also mountains back there, so yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but the clouds up there, we still have a little bit of clouds, give us a nice effect like a soft box. And yeah, this brings our leaves a little bit to glow, what looks really pretty good. I'm also happy with the light in the distance. It looks, in the moment here, it looks after really boring light, but when we have a look there, it really adds a little bit of depth, because this area with the grasses here is a little bit in the sun, not really in the sun, but it's a little bit more illuminated than the rest in the distance, and also the path is a little bit more in the shadow, and these contrasts add a really fantastic sense of depth to our scene. It's a nice morning out there, so I would say let's make the click. So I found one more composition, and I know I said I will not leave the trail, but yeah, I left it, but it is there, so just 2 meters, something like this. And yeah, to be honest, before my camera position was around about there, so really 3-4 meters away from that, and I just wanted to go a little bit more in that direction, look for other compositions, but then I really got attracted again by these green foliage up there, what looks really fantastic. These are the same leaves as before, but yeah, just another composition. I just came something like 80 degrees, something like this, into that direction, so my camera position is now here. And I'm really attracted by these trees here at the right hand side. Especially the very right tree leans a little bit to the left, so it frames the image nicely. And our key elements are these really lush green leaves up there, and also we have a little bit of browns and reds in there. And also on the ground we have these browns and reds, and this really gives a nice contrast. What I'm also really happy about is that we have this wide area here at the left hand side, what was really a fantastic balance to the trees here at the right hand side. And yeah, I think it's a really nice scene, so I'm really happy with it. I will not include the path here now, because it would give a horizontal line what doesn't really support anything to our image. I'm not bothered about a little bit of softness in the distance. It really adds here, because yeah, it gives a little bit of isolation to our leaves and our trees in the foreground. So I would say let's make the click. That's quite interesting. I found one more wreath composition. It's not possible to take this photograph right now, because yeah, the light comes from the wrong direction. Currently the sun is behind that peak there, behind that mountain, and yeah, it doesn't really add to this composition here. I would need it more from that direction, coming here and illuminating our trees here from the right hand side. So let me show you a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it is also a photograph of a trail. I included the trail, and what I think is including the trail is a really a nice way to tell a story in the woodland. So when we see here, it leads in here, we have a nice flow back there. So I mean, I will cut from the right hand side and also from the left hand side. I also thought about doing something like that, what could also work really nicely, although we have a lot of empty area here. So I have definitely to tweak about that, but I think it's a nice option to have a trail included in a composition. And you know, photography is always all about storytelling, and a trail really tells a fantastic story. You ask yourself, who is walking along there, who was walking along there maybe hundreds of years ago, you never know. And this is something what I think when there's anything included from humans handmade, so something like a trail or something like this, when it's really old, there's more mystic inside, there is more for your imagination on, where you think what has happened there. And when it's something totally new, a road what was built last week or something like that, it will not tell any story to us. So, and quite interesting thing is, I'm just, I think 20 meters from my last spot. It's really amazing how easy it is to tell stories, to find compositions just with the trail. Amazing. So I can't believe what I'm saying now, because I got attracted by this trail there. Amazing, isn't it? So it's really fantastic. When you have a look there, it snakes back there in a nice way, and we have all these nice color contrasts between these lush greens here on the foliage up there, also a little bit of green at the ground, and some patches of red here in the foreground, and very important, also back in the distance. And it doesn't seem that we have all too much light here in the moment, but we have a little bit of shadows there and where, and we have fantastic contrasts. And with the circular polarizer, I can really emphasize that. And it really adds this sense of depth here into our scene, what looks really pretty good. I think what's usually really difficult in woodland are really these thin trees everywhere, because you get a lot of chaos there. But when we have so many thin trees, we have this repeating pattern everywhere here in our scene, and this really looks pretty good. So what I've done is, I've gone really close to these trees here, so my camera position is here, just as you have an idea. And I balance this really close element, because it is really a big weight here on our left hand side. I balance it with these greens, with these lush greens here on the ground, and this really looks fantastic. I got already a comment some months ago, I think already, from one of you, that it's really difficult to photograph in woodland because everything is green. But it is not everything green when we have a look, not always, not all the year. So we have spring, as already mentioned, but we have still some leaves on the ground from autumn last year. And this really builds a nice connection and a nice sense of depth, and I'm really happy here. What I also really like here, when we have a look down here in our foreground, our trail is more dark here, more browns, more shadows here. But when we look more in the distance, there is a little bit of a bright area here, a little bit of white of the trail. So we also have this connection from the foreground to the distance, and also a sense of depth that looks really fantastic. One thing what I'm not 100% happy about is, at the top we will get a little bit of sky in. I tried already to get up as high as possible, not really as high as possible. It had been also possible to get a little bit higher through putting out my middle column, but I'm not really happy with the perspective then. So it's always a thing of what's the best perspective in the one hand, and in the other hand, how can you avoid getting the sky in, or to hide any elements here in the forest. Same as before, I use a circular polarizer, and what I've done is I focused on one of that trees here at the right hand side, and it allows me to get the distance a little bit softer, and I think this looks also really fantastic with these brighter areas back there. So I think we could also emphasize it with a tiny bit of an autumn effect, maybe in post-processing afterwards. So yeah, I'm really happy with this nice scene of this woodland trail going through this nice little forest, and I would say, let's make the click. Well, some of you might have recognized that I have a new tripod. So it's the Rollei Lion Rock 25. I own it already, I think, since March or something like this. There was a price reduction, and I had a problem with my old tripod. I damaged it a little bit on these things here. Yeah, when they get in hard connection with a rock or something like this, it can be damaged. And I wanted to replace it with my C6E, Rollei C6E, what's really a fantastic travel tripod. And I like it because it's really a lightweight, I think 1.2 kilograms, something like this. And this one has 1.9 kilograms. And the reason why I didn't use it before is, yeah, you guessed it already, because of my knee situation. I had a knee injury and I wanted to have the weight as low as possible. But I thought, yeah, I will try it today. I'm really happy with this one. It's also a little bit higher than the other, so yeah, I'm really happy with it. I will link it down in the description if you're interested about. I found one more, that's not really a composition, it's just a possibility for a composition, I think. Yeah, when I came along more in that direction, I found something for maybe an intimate shot, something like this, and yeah, I'm not sure. I will head over there and let's try for it. So I'm here now at this spot. I found this trunk before, and I got attracted by these ivy leaves up there and these fantastic lines and patterns here of this trunk. It looks really pretty good. The only thing is, what I didn't think about is, I totally forgot that I don't have a long lens with me today. So for this shot I would need a long lens, but due to my knee injury I try to put my weight as low as possible. So I just have one lens with me. This is my 24 to 70 millimeters lens. And yeah, what I will do is, as I have my Sony a7R4, I have 61 megapixels. So what I will do is, I will take the shot with 70 millimeters and then I will crop in. I think this will also be possible. I will have enough megapixels also for printing if it's really a great one. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I also use a circular polarizer here. Yeah, we have a little bit glare, especially on the leaves up there and so on. I want to get rid of that, and this is possible with the polarizer, obviously. So I will take this shot right now, you will see it afterwards. My friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, I will really happy about a thumb up. Share this video with your friends on Facebook and Instagram. You know, it would really help me to grow this channel. So I would say, let's make the click, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.